Okay, so I want you guys to make sure you have your blue sheet out for what you're going to be doing today. Today is going to be a work day once I'm done with the video explaining everything. Today you will be planning out your paper. There's a couple ways to do that. You can hand write an outline, give me your 3 examples of perseverance on it, maybe write up a little explanation. You can type out an outline of some sort if you'd rather type. Or you can have your plan and start handwriting a rough draft. You are not allowed to write this paper ahead of time. All of it either needs to be handwritten on paper, or if you're going to type something, it cannot be the paper. It has to be an outline for the paper. Whatever you do today and over the weekend is going to be turned into me. So don't write it over the weekend because you will have plenty of time to work on it in class. And because this is your final, it's worth 100 points, 12.5% of your grade. What you do in class is what you will submit as your final written portion of your final, which is your whole final this year. So what are you doing? Well, we've been discussing perseverance the whole time that we read the book. Okay, so you are going to be finding the 3 best examples of perseverance from Louis Zamperini, not anybody else, Louis Zamperini. You're going to create an informative thesis statement that's its own introduction. You're going to indent it like we've done before, and you're going to state Louis' name, the book title, and 3 concise examples of perseverance. Remember, this is an informative thesis, so you can list your 3 things. Then you're going to write 3 body paragraphs tackling the 3 examples of perseverance. You have learned from writing, you always start with an opening sentence, then you introduce your perseverance example, you cite it, right? You set up the scene and you either cite it by quoting it or cite it by paraphrasing it, but you have to set up the scene. Do not start a sentence with quoted material. You have to set the scene up. You need to cite it accordingly. You can use Hillenbrand the first time, and then after that, just the page numbers because we only have one source. The biggest part, you have to explain. Why is this an example of perseverance, right? And how it moves the plot along in the book. For example, if Louis would not have spent hours and hours figuring out how to patch that raft in 15, they would have died. The ocean would have dragged them under, the current would have taken them, and the sharks would have eaten them. So again, opening sentence, introduce your perseverance, cite your perseverance, set it up for me though, and then explain. Your citation can be paraphrased, it can be quoted, but your explanation needs to be twice as long as your citation. And we've learned that. Remember, we're going to kind of assess you on whether you can write a good informative thesis, whether you can write a good solid body paragraph with an introduce, a cite, and explain, setting everything up, and then you need to close it out and then move on to your next body paragraph. There is no introduction. It's just your thesis on its own. There is no conclusion, right? But you know the deal. You know everything you need to do. You will be assessed on a couple different things. You need to make sure you have your formatting looking like a 4-course meal. You know how to format a paper. You don't need a cover page, but you need to have your heading and all of those things. You need to avoid contractions, personal pronouns, write well, and stay in present tense for me, okay? So you will be assessed based on this rubric, based on your thesis statement with Louis' name and unbroken, identifying your 3 examples, and then you will be assessed on your body paragraph. Begin with the topic sentence, provide background, right? Introduce it, accurately cite it, and then have an original explanation. I say body paragraphs should be 7 to 8 sentences. They should be at least 7 to 8 sentences. By the time you open, you introduce, you cite, you explain, you close it out, that's like bottom of the barrel 8 sentences. You're going to do that 3 times. There is no conclusion. and then you will have 30 points you could lose for grammar. Okay, so once you get that 30 points out, then you're done, but that takes you to a 70. You need to make sure you check over everything. Okay, today though, all you're going to do is plan it out. Write down each of your examples. Write down the page number. Decide, is this worth quoting or can I paraphrase it? If it's so beautifully said, quote it. If you can paraphrase it, paraphrase it. So today, again, you're planning your paper. You're either handwriting it, you'll turn that into me Monday or Tuesday when you have your final written portion, or you can type it and you'll share it with me. You can handwrite a rough draft, but you cannot type a rough draft because you are expected to take the time I've given you to show me the skills I have taught you. This will be our good man is hard to find. Sorry, wrong number. 3-part paper. This will be our 6th paper for this semester. In 6 papers, you should be amazing, and you are. So feel confident in yourself. If you're worried about the time, if you have it all written out, all you got to do is type it. If you are one of those people you feel like it's going to take you a while, handwrite your rough draft. Handwrite it. And if you have terrible handwriting, you should be able to read your own handwriting. I don't have to be able to read it. If you have a question, email me over the weekend. I'm sorry I can't be there. I'm really sad. But I love you guys, and I'm so, so proud of you because you have really, really, really done well. So you got this, but this time should be you working now. So Mr. Genders, cut me off and let's get this party started.